I've made my way to this big 200 car barn auction because there's a couple of cars that I'm interested in. I've had a quick walk around and all the cars that I'm interested in have got crowds of people around them. So I think my chances of actually buying one are pretty slim. Nice old Saab 9.5 there. This one don't look too bad. There's another one further around the field, and that is absolutely rotten. This one is the good one out of the two. I wouldn't mind one of these, but this one's not for me today. Do I add a scimitar to the Reliant collection? Nice slot mags. I do like a scimitar. What is the engine in this one? It is a V6. Is that an S6 V6? I've got a Regal, I've got an Ant, I've got a Robin. I don't have a scimitar. I guess the good running joke is the shell doesn't rot, but the chassis do go on these, so this would be a shell off job. Nice little MGs. I know Jason wouldn't mind one of these. This one probably needs a lot of welding, but again, this is one of the nicer ones that I've seen here so far. And I bought a Land Rover. These are not my thing. Never had one. Never really fancied one. A lot of my friends do like these. Look at that, nice triple seats. Bench seats at the back. Now if I was going to get one, it'd be this sort of size. But definitely not this one. I think this poor Transit's seen better days. Don't think she's going to see the road again. Come around this side. She is split in two. Let's take a look. Yeah, look at that. I think realistically the fate of a lot of these cars is breakers for parts, scrapyards, or the banger track. Certainly with a lot of the Jags. You know, Sarah's State, are the parts on this rare? I don't think so. That's only going to take a tour around the track, isn't it? I mean, what is it? Why would you bother? It's a 2.3 diesel. This, however, this is pretty. I could quite happily just put that in my garden. All right, buddy. It's a cute thing, that one, isn't it? Yeah, that would definitely be a nice garden ornament. Wax it up, comfy seats, a few bottles of gin. Well, for the wife, not for me. It's not too bad, I don't think. That'd be an interesting one to get running. Put a pair of casters on the back and spin yourself around. That's a Cadillac. Look at that, nice. That one has got to be just bang a track fodder. There's no chance in hell, is it? I don't think they're worth that much money when they're up and running. Same for this one. A Citroen Safari, now that's nice. That's a shame. Look at the rust all on the floor. Parts from other cars in the back. Definitely need some arches. And a boot. And oh my god. Here we are again. What, a few parts off that maybe. MG Maestro 1.6. Again. Look at that. Nothing left of it. Look at that. Nice old Rover. A little badge on the front is taking a beat in. I think that's the track is all you can do with it, isn't it? What else? Peugeot 205 convertible. Another Moggy or a Thou. Don't know much about those. Another big Jag. How's this one looking? This one's looking not too bad considering. Yeah, nice. Oh, there's a fly in my ear. Get off. Daimler Sovereign. I quite like that one. Another Sierra 1.8 LX. I mean, what's the point? I'm sure there'll be Ford fans out there cursing me, but another minor Thou. A little Ford Fiesta. When was the last time you seen one of those? I imagine that'll get somebody's boat floated. What is it? What is it? Let's have a look, see if it says on the front. Fiesta bonus. Alright, this one interests me. I do quite like a Delica. Got a quick look underneath, it doesn't look too bad. I know I've already got the Bongo, but I've always liked these Delicas. Space gear. 2.8 turbo. Gullwing seats. I'd quite happily add that one. Oh, considering it was really windy when all the other YouTubes have been here, it is roasting today. Yeah, bit of rock there, but not too bad at all. This one is pinned to the ground by a tree. And a wasp's nest. Quick, let's give it a shake. Yeah, you can see them bimbling around there, can you? Where is he? It's a freebie, innit? It's a bonus. Again, if I was going to get a Landy, it'd be this sort of size. Little Polo bread van. My Ian would like one of these, but not in this condition. Mind you, the sills don't look too bad on it. It's not too bad, actually. Yeah, considering where it is. Nice early Golf. Now I imagine that's going to bring some people in. It needs a good chunk of welding. It's got the nice alloys. Here's a GTI. Well, it's got a GTI badge. $109,000 miles. Look at that, that's set up for drifting. What is that? Nice little 306. What I did like about these is the sweep on the sill. That's quite a design choice back in the day. So an SLK. Not much left of that. Another Jag. I do like the wheels on that. Let's keep on walking down towards the barn. I haven't been in the big barn with the signs yet, I don't think. Or have I? It's a little MG. What's that? Another SLK. Compressor, yeah, that's some Mercedes. What's through here? Let's take a look.
They really are.
That's Manitou. So that's a Cadillac my mate Julian was eyeing up. He done a nice little Photoshop of it on slammed wheels. Now I do like these, but it cost me an arm and a leg to find the parts, and it needs welding to death as well. Look at that. It's lovely in there. How many miles on it? 85,000. Definitely big old land yacht. El Dorado. That is nice. A couple of little peds. Right, I think this one's going to generate a lot of interest. Look, 635. So it's 3.2 or is it 3.5? So look. Left-hand drive, automatic, 146,000. Yeah, not one for me. I like the alloys on that one. A lot of the old signs here, but nothing that really floats my boat. I should get that one for my mate Gareth, but he'd probably like that in his bathroom. I am in and out of London a lot with work, but not a line I use. That's going to be on the track, isn't it? 924? You know what, I wouldn't mind the 924. You'd go nice with the 928 or Pasha interior. That one could be interesting. Nice manual. I love a Pasha interior. It's got the Porsche badges on the side. I wish my 928 did that interior. A lot more signs. And banger track queen. One of the nicer MGs. Rover P4 was it? 3.5. You know, that one could be a resto, couldn't it? Rather than just a track. That's project car for Jason, you can make something of that. It's getting busy here now. A couple more Peugeots. Apparently the guy wanted to collect 205 of them, and I heard somebody say you get up to 107. That's the other car I was looking for. I could be quite tempted by that. Let's have a look. Truth of the matter is, probably too much work for me. As much as I'd love one, it needs to go to someone who can do it. Look at that. Yeah, floor's gone. That's not a me on a driveway job, is it? But how beautiful is it? I would love that. I could drive around in that all day long. It's a lovely little Wolseley. I'd quite like that. Quite rotten down in the front of the sills. Gone at the back. Gone there. I just haven't got the time or the space to do something like that at the moment. Bloody hell, I haven't had the time to weld the sills back into my Volvo, let alone taking that on. Pretty little thing though. Wolseley 1500. Nice MG with the rubber bumpers. Needs sills and stuff, but again, Jason would love one of those. And it's not looking too bad. Nice little shorty. Not much left of that one. Aha! And there's the other one I was looking for, the Volvo wagon. See if we can get down the side. These are going to be pretty rotten. Yeah, all that back end is gone. Spider webs on my fingers, nice. Can't see much down this side, but it's probably as bad as the other side. Nice Mark III Escort on cloverleaf alloys. Cat B, that one. And then a Triumph. Not a bad looking Mini. That doesn't look too bad at all. Oh. And then you open the door. Another big old Jag. Another one there. That's interesting. Panther. Not one for me, but I know Jason would like that. It's interesting to see what that goes for. Nice Range Rover. I am starting to like these, but it's not something I'd bid on here because there's one of these. I'm pretty sure it's one of these sitting in the bush behind my house. I'll have to knock on the neighbour's door one day. So we're in the courtyard bit now. MG, another big old Jag. A couple of them in a row. TR7. XR 4x4, you know. I don't know, everything's so much work. I imagine someone will get that to restore it. There's that pink one. Again, I like these. I love the decal down the side.
Yeah.
Yeah, we want it now.
Lovely little Peppa Pig looking front. Bentley Turbo. Old wedding car. Oh, that's nice. Yeah, I could cruise around in that. Everyone seems to love these lately, I don't know why. Oh, I've come back to the car for a coffee. It is absolutely roasting today. All the other videos showed it all nice and windy and the forecast was for rain. So I've dressed for the weather and it is baking. I don't know if you can see, it is really kind of filled out here now. There's a lot more people than I was expecting. And a lot of the cars are worse in reality than you see on the internet. So it's definitely a day for the scrap man and the banger men. There's a good handful of cars that are really nice. There's 3 I'm quite interested in, but I have a feeling that, judging by the crowds around them, that they're not going to go for cheap. So I doubt if they're going to land in my budget. One is the Triumph 2000 Estate. That's really quite nice. That looks like it just needs a mop and a polish and a good old service and it'll go. The other one is the Delica. Bit dodgy with those though. There's a lot that can go wrong with them. So that would be quite a punt. And then one of the 924s, there's a blue one with a passion interior. That's really nice. That is one I could be tempted by as well. So let's see what the prices go for. Keep it interactive, guys. When you, I'll try and film some of the bidding. Put what you think they're going to go for in the comments. Let's see how right or wrong we are. Scrap value for a car at the moment in Wales, I think is about 150 quid a car. So I'd imagine a lot of them going for, I wouldn't mind betting a quid or a tenner. 100 quid tops for a lot of it. So yeah, let's see what we can get. There we are. So you do a coffee. No slumming it with paper cups. That's the way. Right, it's about to start. First car. Can't see it. It's an Escort there. Let's see what this goes for.
Commercial auctioneers, we'd like to thank all of you for your attendance today. This is getting better than Glastonbury, isn't it? We'd also like to thank our staff for all of their efforts, as it is very much appreciated, as you will know. We would also like to thank Mr. Mark Dew, our vendor, for instructing our team to complete the sale. Buyer's commission is set at 5% with no VAT, as most of you know. No vehicles or implements will be moved today due to the health and safety of obviously having so many people here, and also the idea was to try and keep trailers off the ground, but that's worked to a certain degree and not in others, but there you go. All signage and things in the other shed that we sell, small bits you can move by hand, yes you will be able to take those today as soon as all of the crowd is moved. If anything in the far shed that you're interested in, we will have a couple of members of staff stood there. They will go up the walls to get the signs off the walls and everything else once you've bought the, once you've paid for your bids. So there you go. We have a V5, but we do not have a set for it. So starting with lot one then is the white Escort there. What are we going to say? I can start us off. At 300, look at the 320, 320 about £300, look at the 320, 340, 360. At 360, 380, 400. At 400, 420, 440, 440, 460, 480, 480, 500. At 520 bid, 540, 560, 560, 580, 600, 600, 620, 640. At 640, 660, 680. 680, 700 with me, look at the 720, 720, I've got 740, 760 takes me out, 760 I'm out, look at the 780, at 760 look at the 780, I settled away, make no mistake then on the Ford Escort, at 760 look at the 780, last chance now, at 760 look at the 780, what's your bid in the hill?
So that one went for 760.
Right then, lot two. Is the Toyota camper van now. If you can all slightly move along, do go steady. We have the Toyota camper van
tour
now.
race.
What are we going to say on that? Again, we do have keys, but I don't believe the other V5 for it there then. What are we going to say on that then, ladies and gentlemen? Very rare thing getting nowadays. I can start us off at £200, look at the 220. At £200, look at the 220, 220 now, £200, look at the 220. At 200, look at the 220, 240, 260, 260, 280, 290, 300, 320, 320, 340, 360, 360, 380, 400, 400 bid, 420, 440, 460, 480. I've got £500, 520 takes me out, sir. 520 I'm out, look at 540, 540 to the back. At £520, look at 540, 540 last chance now, I sail all the way on the Toyota. At 520, look at the 540.
So that went for 520.
We move on then.
I think that's Exploring with Boss.
What's going on, man?
Hi, nice to meet you. How you doing?
You, buddy.
You
How
all
you
right?
doing?
Yeah, good. I'm
Enjoying
Steve.
the concept, man.
Steve's Machine, yeah.
V5s all keys by the looks of it. I will just state some of them may turn up.
There's a Saab 95. What do you think it's going to go for?
As it stands at the minute,
Got to be careful not to get run over.
say there's no V5, no keys, that is on a presumption there won't be. However, there may be some turn up. If we do, we will post them to you. But if it says no V5, no keys, whatever, that's how it is. So there you go then on the Saab 96 there then. What are we going to say on that then, ladies and gentlemen, again? I can start the bidding off with a genuine bid at £200, I'll give it 220. At £200, I'll give it 220. A very rare piece getting nowadays then. At £200, I'll give it 220. Shout of permission out. At 200, 220, 240, 260. 280, 280, 300, 320, 340, 360, 380, 400, 420, 440, 460. I got 480, £500 I'm out. 500 I'm out, look at 520, 520 to the back. At £500, look at 520, 520 sold away, mate, no mistake. Last chance, one on fair. At 500, look at the 520. What's your minute, please, sir? 216. We move on then.
500
It's the Isuzu car.
Alright, this is the first of the 205s.
Do have a V5 for it, but I don't believe you have a
Let's take a look.
First Peugeot 205 coming up now.
£200, 220, at 200, 220, 240, 260, 260, 280, 300, at 300 down in the back, at 280, look at 300, 300 in the back, at 290, look at the 280, look at 300, at 280, look at 300, lovely Peugeot there, at 280, look at 300, at 280, look at 300, in the house now, at 280, look at 300.
I think that one went for 280. And I think that is one of the nicer ones. Right, I'm not going to film them all, this will take all day. So I'm only going to film what I think is the good stuff. Right, this one's next. The 8 3.5 Rover.
At 200, look at the 220, 220 about 200 pound, look at the 220. At 220, 240, 260. Behind your backs, 260, 280, 300, 320, 340, 360, 380. I got 400, 450, I'm out, sir. 400 pound a meal, go 450, 450 a back. Take a 20 if you like. 420. Takes me out, look at the 440, at 420, look at the 440, 440 to the man, I sell it away, make no mistake, goes in 440, he does, 460, 480, so much sparked your interest, sir, you know you
Still
want
going
to,
up.
at 460, look at 480, 480 to the man, last chance, final and fair, at 460, look at the 480, what's your number please, sir, 216, thank you very much, we move on, 230,
And it went for 480.
330 CI work,
Right, this caddy's up now. I wouldn't mind betting this goes for some tidy money. 400 start.
40, 460, 480, 480, 500, 520, 540, 540, 560, 560, 580, 500, 520, 520, 540, 560, 580.
One of them GTI.
580 for the man. They're big. 560, look at 580, 600. You want it? 600.
They were expensive.
580 here, look at the 600, 600, 620. 620, 640, 660, 680, 700, 720, 740, 760, 740 here on my right, look at the 760, 760 on my right, settle away, make no mistake, 760, 780, 800, 820, 840, 860, 860, 880, at 860, at 860, look at 880, 880 on the mat, at 860 pound, look at 880, on the VW caddy pick up there, and last chance at 860, 880, 900, 900.
It's just broken 900.
Where you want it, sir? 920, 940 is good contact. Where you want to? At 940, look at 960, 960, 980, 980, fair up £1,000, you know you want it. At 980, 1,000 there, 1,050.
It's hit 1,000.
I sell it away. Okay, £1,000 here, look at 1,050. Anybody else want £1,000, look at 1,050.
Wow, that went for 1,050. Oh, Christ, you can get them on Marketplace cheaper than that. Well, I don't think I'd get my pilot's license back to fly that bugger. It's a gyrocopter. No, I crashed my last plane, so I'm not going to buy that one. Yeah, don't fancy that. He's running a VW motor. Yeah. A little VW motor. Look at that. That's an office chair. Okay, we're on this. It's up to 900.
At £900, 950, 950, 900 950. Anybody else now? At £900, 950, I sell away, mate. No mistake, who likes their American cars? At £900, look at the 950.
That went for 900. So this is two separate lots.
To the VW LT50 car transporter there.
So it's the LT, and then on the back is that old Audi.
Just
for the LT, so we'll come back to the Audi. Right then,
Got a key for it, there you go.
Got Jeff here thinks it's 800. Other guy 360. I said it'll break a grand.
I can start us off with a lovely genuine bid. These are getting rare as rocking horse and such nowadays. I can start us off with £400 and go 420.
Started at 400.
420, 420 at 420, 440, 460, 480, 500, at 550, 600. I got 650, £700. I'm out, sir, and you know you want it. At 650 me, look at the 700, 700. Look at the 750. Got a bid, sir? Right, your boy was in the way. That's £700, look at the 750.
I nearly bid on that.
Last chance, ladies and gentlemen. That's £700, look at the 750. Anybody else now? That's 700, look at the 750.
No, Jeff wins. Wounded.
Injuries that happen on site.
A lot of commercial stuff going on at the moment, so I've come up to the next ones which will be interesting. We got a silver spur, Escort 1.4 GL. Things are going for a lot more than I was expecting. So the two-door Escort went for 780. This has got to just be scrap value, surely. Same for the Bentley. This is a Cat B, so I only be bid on if you're a scrapper.
260, 270, I got 280, 290 I'm out, 290 I'm out, 300, 310, 320, 330, 340, 350, 360, 370, 380, 380, 380 pounds, 370, 380, and the Rolls Royce, at 370 pounds, 380, 390, 400, 410, 420, 430, 440, 450, 460, 470, 480, 490, 500. At 490, 500, 500, 490, 500. Anybody else now? 490 pounds, give up 500. 216. Ready, move on.
Right, it's the Escort next.
Right then, ladies and gentlemen, 41 is the Ford Escort.
This will be interesting.
Take the plates off, as it was a private reg that we took off years ago. We will let you know what that reg number is, so that you can try and go back through DVLA to find the old registration for it. So there you go. We do know what the plate was, so you might be able to find the original for it, but there you go. So what are we going to say then? 41, the Ford Escort 1.4 GL there. Lovely little car. What are we going to say? I can start us off £200, look at it 220. At 200, look at it 220, 220, 240, 260, 280, 300, 320, 340. 340. I got 360, 380 I'm at. 360 me, look at the 380. Anyone want to snap her up? 370 if you like, sir. At 360 me, look at the 370, 37 I'm at. 360, look at the 370. At 360 pound, look at the 370. Anybody else now? On the Escort. At 360, look at the 370. 380 I'm at. 370, look at the 380. 380 I'm at. 370 pound, look at the 380.
Well, that went for 380. The interesting one for me is the 944. Looks like it's been burnt on the front. Teledial alloys. Manual box. What is that? It's
I'm going to start us off at £100, 120.
Right, Golf GTI.
1,050, 1,100, 1,150, 1,200, 1,250, 1,300, 1,350, 1,400, 1,450, 1,500, 1,550.
This isn't for the Golf, this is for the digger next to it.
1,600, 2,300.
It's up to 2.3.
2.3 anywhere, 2,200 here, 2.3 does, 2.4, carry on, so you know you want to, at 2.3, look at the 2.4, at 2.3, look at the 2.4, last chance, final and fair, at £2,300, look at the 2004, what's your number please sir?
2,300.
151, 151, thank you sir.
Wow.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, we move on to the Jag.
We think this little red van will go for.
600. I got 650, 750.
I think this little bread van will do better than we expect. I'm going to say 750.
The Dolly trailer, and I can start There you go.
Okay, we're on the VW Polo.
What are we going to say on that? Nice little thing, and I can start us off. £200, look at 220. At £200, look at 220, 220 now, £200, look at 220. At 200, look at 220, 220 now, £200, look at 220. Anybody else now at £200? Look at the 220.
Wow, okay, that didn't go for anything at all.
We go on to 69 as I mentioned as you can to that, and ladies and gentlemen, we're on the right.
200 quid.
Okay, on to another Peugeot 205, hand painted.
I can start us off at £200, look at 220, 220 about £200, look at 220, at 200, look at 220, 220 about who hasn't picked the Peugeot up yet, at £200, look at 220, 220, 240, 260, 260, 280, 300 look at 320, 320 about £300, look at 320, at £300 about look at 320, anybody else now, £300 look at 320.
320. Wow.
4, 4, 4, 5, 4, 6, 4, 7, 4, 8, 4, 9, 5,000, at 490 on the book, 5,000.
Right, this land is just about to go for £5,000.
That age, because they all get the less.
5,252 anywhere. At 5,152 anybody else now.
They know where it started.
At 5,000 maybe go 5,1, 5,1 over there. At 5,000 pound we go 5,1. Anybody else now? I settle away, mate. No mistake on the book. At 5,000 pound we'll go 5,1.
5,100. Wow.
Because he does the next bit.
Oh, 5 is it? Bloody hell.
5%.
Yeah, it's mental. Okay, I quite fancy this. But
400, look at 420, 420, 420, 440, 460, 480, 500, 520,
just going up and up.
560, 580, 600, 620, 640, 660 I'm out, 660 I'm out, look at 680, 680 now, 660, look at 680, at 660, look at 680, 680 now, anybody else now, last chance is £660, 680, 700, 720, 720, 740, at 720 man here, 740, 740 man, 740 goes, at 760, at 740, look at the 760, 760, last chance, £740, look at the 760.
oh, 760.
267 is the boss.
And how about the Cougar?
267 isn't it?
Old Cougar V6.
Yeah. What are we going to say then on the Ford Cougar there? And let's start us off straight in. I'm going to start us off on 150, look at 160, 160 to the mat. 150, look at 160, 160 to the mat. I can't believe it, we ain't got more. 150, look at 160, 170, 180, 190, 200, 210, 220, 230, 240, 250, 260, 270, 280. At 270, mate, look at the 280, 280 to the mat. At 270, look at the 280, 280 to the mat. Anyone else can have a crack now? At 270, I sell away at £270, look at the 280.
Going for 270.
Let's go on.
The old roller.
300, look at the 320, 320 on the mat, 320, 340, 360, 380, 400.
Ridiculous, isn't it?
It's mental.
460, 480, I have got 490, 500 I'm out, 500 I'm out, look at 520, 520 on the mat, at 500 I'm out, look at 520, 520 on the mat. At 500, look at 520, 520, 540.
I'm not waiting here to the end, that's just shit.
540, 560,
You're waiting until I want to go.
580. Look at the potency.
Everyone here is like
560, look at 580.
just shocked at the prices everything is going for.
580 I sell away, make no mistake, of 560, last chance, Lee. At 560, look at the 580.
560 quid.
We move on now.
Jesus Christ, this one started at 320. Look at the state of it.
260, I got 380, 400 on that. 400 on that with a 420, 420 on that, 400 pound with a 420 on the transit. At 400 pound, look at the 420.
420.
Ladies and gentlemen, here we are in 7.
Right then, let's have a look at these MGs. There's not much of them.
505k. There you go, ladies and
Now they're saying that there's nice plates on them, but you've got to get the bloody plates off them. And legally, to get the plates off, it needs to have an MOT and move under its own power. Which, this isn't going to get an MOT or move under its own power for years. It's up to 1,000. So that went for £1,000. And how about this one? This one hasn't got a good number plate.
With keys, ladies and gentlemen, what are we going to say on that? A lovely one now. What are we going to say? I can start us off at 300, look at 320, at 300 pound, look at 320, 320 about 320, 340, 360, 380, 400, 420, 440, 460, 480, 480. I got 490, 500 I'm out. No, you want it, sir? At 490, they look at 500, 500 and about. At 490, look at 500, 500 and about. Last round, 490, look at 500.
That went for 490. Having a dignified cup of coffee. And then it's this landy next. What do you think this one's going to go for? Based on the other landies, this is going to go for stupid money.
Right then, ladies and gentlemen, it's a Land Rover Series 3 V8 there. You've got a
It's alright, I saw it, mate, it's alright.
V5 and key, there you go, ladies and gentlemen, a big old V8 in there. Then what are we going to say? Where do we want to be at then, ladies and gentlemen, with the Safari Edition? Right, where are we going to be at then, ladies and gentlemen? You tell me, 2,000 pounds, 1,500, 1,500 and about, 1,000 pounds. 1,000 bid at 1,100, 1,100 and about 1,000 pounds.
So it did start at 1,000.
1,100, 1,100 and about 1,000 pounds, 1,100 at 1,000 pounds, 1,100 on a V8 Land Rover, Mike. At 1,000 pounds, 1,100. Anybody else now? 1,100. 1,150, 1,200, 1,200, 1,250, 1,250, 1,300, 1,300, 1,350. At 1,300 pound, look at 1,350, 1,350 and about. At 1,300 pound, look at 1,350, 1,350 and about. I sell away, make no mistake, at 1,300 pound, look at 1,350. What's your number, please, sir? 155, thank you, sir.
Thought he was looking at me then.
Here's you go, ladies and gentlemen, I can start us off at 500.
Can't see the plate, but apparently it says Nigel. NGL. Not really Nigel, is it?
500 pound, look at 20. Ground bumpers and all. At 500, look at 520, 520 and about 500 pound, look at 520. At 500, look at 520, 520 and about anybody else now. At 500 pound, look at 520.
That went for 500.
On we go then, 92 is the VW Caddy STR.
Right, that's just your bog standard caddy van.
Right, we move, there you go then. Yes, we've got keys for it, there you go
Okay.
then. I can start us off at 300 pounds.
300.
At 300 pounds, who would be voting keys, mate? At 300 pounds, look at 310, 310 and about 300 pounds, look at 310. At 300, look at 310, 310 and about. At 300 pounds, anybody else now? At 300, look at 310.
300. Right, what's this Saab going to go for then? Because the other one was in worse condition, wasn't it? About 800, wasn't it, I think? Okay, this...
With a measurable bid at 400, look at 420. At 400, look at 400, look at 420, 420 and a half, 400 pound, look at 420.
I've got to stop put my hand up to film these because I'm
420, 420, 440,
gonna accidentally bid.
480, 500, 500, 550 mate, 600. At 550 mate, look at 600, 600 and a half. At 550, look at 600, I settled away, make no mistake, at 550, look at 600. I have got. Right, takes about £600 I'm out, look at 620. At 600, look at 620, 620 and our last chance, everybody. At £600, look at 620.
I can see you in that, Brad.
So that crazy little Vesta combi has only gone for 200 quid.
I'd have bought that.
That's cheap.
I like that.
Yeah.
It's the only car today I've said that's cheap.
Yeah.
97 is the Peugeot 205.
One more Peugeot 205.
With the V5.
We had a lot of 205s, didn't he?
Oh, okay, with the V5, there you go.
He seems to be making good money on him.
At 200, look at 210, 200 pounds, look at 210.
That's all for 200. I think that's the cheapest pug so far.
It is. And it's a two-door.
Yeah.
With a factory Britax sunroof.
Who'd have thought it, eh? This Metro went for 100 quid. Look at that. This is beautiful. What's it going to go for?
What are we going to say then, ladies and gentlemen? Lovely thing, great camper.
I would just put this in the garden as a gin bar.
Right then, ladies and gentlemen, I can start us off at a bit.
There's a glare on there. There's a bit of a glare up there. I can't see. You alright?
Dad, can I go and get it?
500, 520, 520, 520, 540, 560, 560, 580, 600, 600, 620, 620, 640. Come on, sir, it's a gift of that. That's 620.
It's up to 620. There's a lot of signs in there, because everything that's in it comes with it. 640. If they're lucky, there's a piece of rare art in there somewhere, isn't there? Yeah. 640. Wow. Right, Daimler Sovereign now. I think he just said it's a 4 litre. That's the one right down there.
200 that, at £200 a genuine bid, 220, £200, £220, 240, 260, 280, £300 look at the 320, 320 that, at £300 look at the 320, 320 that, at £300. 20, 340, at 320, look at the 340, 340 now. Anybody else now on the Daimler Sovereign at 320, look at the 340.
Okay, that one's a 320.
6 there then.
Jag XJ6.
At £300, look at 310, 310 and about 300, 310, 320, 330. 330, 340, 350 takes me out, look at the 360, 370, 380, 390, 400, 410, 420, 430, 440, 450, 460, 60, 470, at 460, look at 470, 470, sorry, 480, 480, 490, 500. 500, 520, 520, 540, 560, 580, 600, 580 at the back, 600, 600, 620, 640, and 620 at the back, look at the 640, 640 at the back, son of a way, make no mistake, it's £620 at the back, look at the 640.
620 going for.
316.
Right then, what do we think this one's going to go for?
Yep, 115 is a section CX250OD. There you go then, ladies and gentlemen. On the little estate there, what are we going to say on that? I can start us off at £200, look at the 220, 220 on that, £200, look at the 220, 220 on that, at 220, 240, 260, 280, 300, 320, 340, 360, 380. I've got 390, 400 I'm out. 390 at 390 on me, look at 400.
It's up to 400.
At 390 on me, look at 400. Anybody else now at 390. Looking for 400.
Wow, 390. And now the 1.6 MG.
Right then, ladies and gentlemen, the MG Maestro that we thank you. On we go with the MG Maestro there, then we've got a V5. In the V5 keys there, ladies and gentlemen, what are we going to do? I have got the genuine bid at £300 over 320, 320, 340, 360, 380, 400, 410, 420 I'm out, look at 430, 430 I'm out, the wheels will work, that's on the road. At 420, look at 430, 430. At 420, look at 430, 430 I'm out. Last chance I call in, I sell all the way at 420 pounds, look at 430.
420.
164, on we go.
Half that.
Right then, this little minor though.
V5 and keys on it there, ladies and gentlemen, here we are. What are you going to say then on the V5 and keys on the minor thou there then, I can start us off at a miserable £100 of the 120, 120, 140, 160, 180, 200, I got 220, 240 man. 220 me, look at the 240, 240 to the man. At 220, look at the 240, 30 of an auction. At 220, look at the 230, 230 to the man. At 220, look at the 230, with V5 and keys mine. At 220, look at the 230.
220 quid.
On we go, ladies and gentlemen, 180 is a row, the P4 100. We have no registration on this one, I'm afraid.
Alright, this is the little Rover. Roof is wrecked, has been lifted. This has got to be a banger car. Oops, sorry buddy.
I got 250, 260 takes me out. At 260, I'm out with it, 270, 270, I'm out 260, look at it, 270. Last chance, I'm going to call it at £260. Look at it, 270.
260 quid. Pininfarina 205 convertible. What do we think this is going to go for? Sierra Estate.
You can't tell with this place today, though, can you?
You can't, no.
We're going to start her off with the first commission bid at £50, like a 55, 55 and a half.
I'm going to start it at 50 quid, that's a bit more reasonable.
5 and 5, 1 and 10, 120, 130, 140, 150, 160, 170, 180, 190, 200, 210, 220, 230, 240, 250, 260, 270, 280, 290, 300, 310, 500, 500 bid, 520.
Oh, bloody hell, it's up to 500 quid.
540, 560, 580, 580, 600,
Yeah.
620, 640, 660, 680, at 660 here, look at the 680,
Well, yeah, it's gotta be.
680 in the back. I settled away, make no mistake, at 660, look at the 680.
660.
164, thank you sir, on we go with 1,
Any
2,
idea
3,
what a split
is
Margie
the
went
Morris
for,
minor
don't we?
1000 there
That's
then.
basically
There
nothing.
you go then
It
ladies
was
and
a
gentlemen, what are we going to say
window
on that?
Margie.
Oh, I don't think that's gone yet.
Oh,
Nothing on
right.
it. Nothing on it, there we go then ladies and gentlemen. I can start us off at 300, look at it, 320,
When do you think he'll do it,
320
mate?
at 300 pound, look at it,
Dunno.
320, 320 now, 300 pound, look at it, 320, at 300, look at it, 320, anybody else now, 300, look at it, 320, on we go,
300 quid.
124 is the Ford Fiesta
Right then, I think this is going to go daft.
It looks quite clean, to be fair.
Yeah, it needs a bit of welding, obviously.
At 400 pound,
Started at 400.
V5 and keys there you go. Get some fuel down the shield fire. You can get on. There we go. At 400 on the 420, 420 about 400 pound on the 420. At 400, 420, 440, 460, 480, 500, 520, 540 takes now. Look at 560, 560 at about 540, look at 560. Anybody else now? 540 pound, look at 560.
540 quid.
On we go then, 1, 2.
Two more pugs, that's the last of this row then. Mardi Gras. Oh, this one's already gone.
At 300, look at the 320, 320 about, 300 about, look at the 320. At 300, look at the 320, 320 about, at 320, 340, 360, 380, 400 takes me out. 400 I'm out, look at 420, 420 about, 400 pound, look at 420. Anybody else now? 400 pound, look at 420.
400 quid.
200, look at 220, 220 about, 220, 240, 260, 280, 300, 320,
Ford Sierra.
440, 360, 380, I got 390, 400, I'm out, look at 420, 420 about, 400 pound, look at 420. At 400, look at 420, 420 to the back. What's wrong with this one? We're the last one. At 400, look at 420, 420 about, 400 pound, I got 420, 420 about, 400, look at 420. Thank you, sir. 164.
400. Right, this GT is next. This had a lot of interest of people. Quite a few people have been looking at this. Let's see what this is going to go for.
Guys, hi, how are you? Mind your backs, folks. We're coming through. But if we have to, we will. 134 there, then a Rover Metro GTA.
Last tax in 2003.
What are we going to say? I can start us off at 200 pound, like a 220, 220 about with a genuine bid. At 200, 220, 240, 260, 260, 280, 300. At 280, 300, 320, 340, 360, 360, 380, 400, 420, 460, 460, 480, 500, 520. At 500 pound here in the grey, 520, 540. At 520, look at 540, 540, 560, 580. At 560, look at 580, 580, 600, 620, 640. At 620, look at 640, 640, 660, 680, 680, 700, 700, 720. You've come this far, you may as well carry on. At 700, 720, 740, 740, 760. At 740, look at 760. At 740, 760, 780, 800. At 780, I'll be there in a second. 800. At 800 and about 780, look at 800. At 780, 800 and about 800. At 780, look at 800, 800 and about settled away at 780 pound, look at 800.
800.
286, thank you sir. On we go. 135 is the
So this transit has got a broken back.
I can start us off at £400.
400 starting. And that went for 450.
On we go. 136 is the
450 quid. Well, that's just sold for £71,000. I'm sure the Jag is worth that. The number plate, I don't know so much about, but 71 grand. And then the little old CSI, I think that went for about 4.5. Somebody must really want 3 TV. I wanted that sign for my friend Gareth, but it went for 260 quid. That Porsche went for 1,700 or 1,800, which, if it's in good nick, that's not bad. But does it run? Who knows? Jay. And that went for 2 grand. Wow, that only went for 2,100. That sign there, London Bridge, just went for £1,200. 1.6 Peugeot GTI just went for 4,100. GTI made 2,500. And little bog standard convertible made 700. And J just went for 1,500.
950, £1,000, 1,050, 1,100, 1,150, 1,150, 1,200, 1,250, 1,250, 1,300, 1,350, 1,350, 1,400, 1,450. At £1,400 a metre, look at 1,450, 1,450, 1,500, 1,550. At £1,500 a metre, look at 1,550, 1,550 and about. At £1,500, look at 1,550. Anyone else now? At £1,500, look at 1,550.
Well, that just went for 1,550.
Thank you, back. Thank you. XR 4x4.
XR 4x4.
Right then, ladies and gentlemen, anyway, we have a better bit of that, so I can start us off at 2,000, look at the 2-1, at 2,000, look at the 2-1, at 2,000.
Started at 2,000.
At 2,000, at 2,000, look at the 2-1, at 2,000 now, look at the 2-1, 2-1 anywhere, on the Sierra, at 2,000, look at the 2-1, 2-1 anywhere, at 2,000 now, look at the 2-1, anybody else now, at 2,000 now, look at the 2-1. We go indoors. We're going to have a 10-minute break while we get this set
okay,
up
that went for a lot less than I thought it would. Right, we're in the last shed. I'm really curious to see what this goes for. I really like that.
Right, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to get that underway now. Hopefully you all in. I hope you can all hear me. No? Oh, good. Yes, no, I can't hear. I don't know if you can do something.
Doesn't look too bad from what I can see.
We started going on with our classic band now, ladies and gentlemen. And I just want to take this time before anyone leaves for the end of the day. I'd like to thank you once for your staying. I'd like to thank you for your commitment. I'd like to thank you for staying on as long as you have. It's so much appreciated, and we look forward to seeing you all again. Right, then the Jar Classic band there, what are we going to say on that? I just start us off.
Definitely needs floors.
At £3,000, 3-1, 3-1 left, 3-1, 3-2, 3-3, 3-4, 3-5, 3-6, 37, that's 36 for me, 37, that's 36 for 37, 38, 39, 39, 45, 41, 41, 42, 43, up 42 million, 43, 43, 44, 45, 46, 47, 48, 49, 5,000, 51, 52, 53, up 52 million, 53, 5,300 and that, up 5,200, 53, 53, anybody else now on the jump plan with the B5, what are you saying now with that 52 with the 53, 53 now, last chance at 52 with the 5, 3.
So that went for 5,200, the Grange Street Keeley.
Yeah, look over 300, then it's 112, ladies and gentlemen, quite a cool thing, a lot of character to it. Let's start with the number, you start with £800, £850 the math. £800, £850 the math. £800, £850 the math. On the Honda, £800, £850, £850, 900, 950, 950, £1,000, £1,050, £1,050, 1,100, 1,150, 1,200, 1,250, 1,300, 1,350, 1,400, 1,450, 1,450, 1,500, 1,550, 1,600, 1,650. I've got 1,700, 1,750 on that. 1,750 takes out over 1,800, 1,800 and that. That's 1,750 over 1,800. Anybody else now on the Honda? That's 1,750 over 1,800.
That went for 1,750. Now this Jag Coupe is nice.
On we go, ladies and gentlemen, with 301 there, ladies and gentlemen, where are we at there? With the Jag X3, X3C, 4.2 coupe there, what are we going to say on that? I will start us off at £2,000 with 2 1
Started at 2,000.
£2,000 with 2 1 2 1 £2,000 with 2 1 2 2 2 3 2 4 2 5 up to 4 million with 2 5 2 5 now £2,400 with 2 5. On we go then. 302 is the Morris Clubber estate there. What are we going to say?
So that went for 2,005, 2,500.
£550, 600, 650. I've got 700, 750 on that over 800. That's 750 over 800, 800 and that's 750 over 800. Anybody else now? That's 750 over 800 pounds.
That went for £1,000.
303 is the option, 830 there then.
The doors dropped on this.
£500, £550, at £500, £550 at £500, £550,
Doors dropped on that. That's a bit of a worry.
£500, £550. I've got 600, 650 on that. 65, I like that.
A little car in the corner.
650, 650,
330, I think. It's got a 650.
On we go, with 304 is the Triumph 2000 estate there, ladies and gentlemen, what are we going to say about that? I can start us off with a genuine bid, it is selling all the way, at £500, £550, £550, 600, 650, 700, 750 now, at £700, 750, 800, 850, 850 takes it in at 900, 950, at £900, 950, 950, 950 there, at £900, 950, still a very cheap motor at that, at 900, 950, £1,000, £1,000, 1,100, at £1,000, sorry, 1,050, 1,050 there, at £1,000, far on my left with 1,050, 1,050 there, 216, yeah.
1,050.
On we go then, ladies and gentlemen, the video smell there then.
Set it out, started at 3,000.
36, 38, 4,000. I've got 42, 44 takes me out. Or 43 if you like. I've got 42. Just do it. Up 42 million or 43. Up 42 million or 43. 43. Higher than us. Up 43 million or 44. Up 43 million or 44. 44 and that. Up 43 million or 44. You will not buy a word cheaper Johnson. Up 43 million or 44. 44 and that. Anybody else now? Up £4,300. Liverpool 4.
Went for 4,003. That went for 1,300. This Mark 1 Golf has just gone for 6,900. 6,900. And that is me done for the day. There were no cheeky bargains for me. Everything was just a little bit too much to be worth taking a punt on. is either far too gone or far too expensive. So, nice day though. I'm gonna send the wife a message now and tell her I've bought this one for a gin bar for the garden. Right, take it easy. See you next time.